Hey everybody, it's me. Ladies, gentlemen, those in between and or outside of, hi! It's your favorite, Maramin shawvayt. So today, I did another Doom video. And you're probably seeing this, well, you are gonna see this first because I have no other videos to put up right now. So, the reason why I decided to do two Doom videos literally within, like, a week of each other, or more, I can't remember right now, is because, the last video has, at the time of recording, hold on, I'm gonna check this out, hold on. I think it's like, it's crazy how many views the last Chill Doom video got. Like, astronomical. As of right now, Chill Doom Knee Deep in the Vibes sits at 423 views, which, if you look at my most popular videos, absolutely dwarfs Silly Guy Talks About Random Things Yapcraft #1, which sits at 255 views. And the fact that my most popular video on my channel is Doom is not a surprise. I feel like that was something that I could have seen a mile away, but the fact that it has almost 200 more views than my most popular video standing for about 7 months, literally crazy. Quite sensational, quite astonishing. So I decided, give the people what they want. Do another Doom video. I have about an hour, but hopefully we can make it to 47 minutes and 58 seconds before I have to go. That's also not counting voice acting time, so hold on. Let me look at our video timeline really quick. So before this happens, okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my video. We have until this mark, which is 46 minutes, 58 seconds. So, 46 minutes, 58 seconds. Wait, hold on. What? 46:56, my bad. 46:56. So we have a little while. This is about 5 minutes longer than the original. Maybe 6. Yeah. Also, important announcement. I have officially gotten favor of a fellow voice actor, and he will be helping me do the voice acting in this video. I will credit him at the end. His name is Krill. That's how I know him. He is a just splendid actor and very talented person and amazing voice actor. So yeah, that's that. Another thing that I wanted to mention was Arsenic and Old Lace. So in the last video I talked about Arsenic and Old Lace and the fact that we were doing a show this year at my high school, W.J. Palmer. And I didn't close my window before this, so you might hear noises from back there, but that's okay. I don't really care myself. So, the thing about Arsenic and Old Lace is that so last time I auditioned for all of you guys publicly, and now I get to describe to you the experiences that I have had outside of the audition that I gave y'all. So it's not a bad thing though. Don't hear me saying it's a bad thing. It's actually really good. So essentially, our theater department has been in the rough. I believe I talked about this last time, but yes, our theater department has kind of had a weird kind of deal going on. And that's normal, I think, for most high schools. Every once in a while, you know, the fine arts don't get funded because they wasted it all on hookers and below. They didn't have somebody to do the shows in time, in the case of our high school, which is also underfunded because I don't want to even talk about that. I think I'll get fucking... Oh my god, I swore. I am so sorry. Well, it's 5 minutes in. Who cares? I'll probably get, like, blown up. Like, they'll figure out where I am and they'll throw a bomb in my window and I'll be dead. That'll suck. That'll stink. But, so yeah, we've had some problems in the theater department. Some things that I don't think I should be able to talk about, but I want to really badly. At risk of potentially being a theater teacher there, I definitely can't talk about it because I feel like they won't hire me. So, but we do have a director. We have 2 assistant directors. We have show dates, kinda. I think it's like November 14th through 16th, maybe 17th. Maybe. If somebody is watching from the theater, please correct me in the comments. I would love to be correct because I'm stupid. I'm very dumb. I'm a very big, dumb, stupid man. So, but yeah, we do have show dates. We have a director. We have 2 assistant directors. And we have our cast. The thing about Arsenic and Old Lace, though, is the fact that there's 14 characters. 11 dudes, 3 chicks. And unfortunately, we only have 12 actors total. So that's a bit of a problem. But we can always double cast, gender bend, who cares? And we did. So, I mean, crisis averted. Unfortunately, the fact that we had to do that at all is very upsetting. But what the hell are you going to do? So, after that, we have the audition process. Now, I remember the day that we were supposed to audition, we had the 2 assistant directors, which I haven't seen on set recently. I don't know where they went. I think they're dead. They did an audition workshop with us, and, you know, they said to play around, and I did, and they were like, you could have done that better, and I'm like, but we're playing. We were meant to just screw around. Essentially, I mean, it wasn't a serious audition. I'm not gonna actually, like, jump onto the stage and yell Shazam. I'm not a total douchebag. I'm an eccentric, but I'm not a douchebag. There's a difference. So that was an interesting time. So then we had a 2-day audition process, and not for the reasons that you think. It was not 2-day audition in the way of we have one day that is just all of the people reading for the characters, and then the next day we call back. It was essentially just the first day we read, and then he realizes we don't have 14 actors trying out, so we need at least 4 more people, or 2 if we're even slightly lucky, which we were, thank God. So we did that. Then, after we did our rehearsals, like within the week, we got our cast list. It was on a Friday, I remember, because we went to do concessions for the theater. That was a blast. It was a bit of a pain in the butt, but it was very fun. So that happened. We got our cast list, and I remember being so excited, y'all. So last time I told y'all that my dream role for the show was Teddy Roosevelt. Essentially, a character who believes he's Teddy Roosevelt because he's, like, I think extraordinarily traumatized. So yeah, he's very much a character. He's a character, and he's the role I got cast in. I was very lucky, I think, because any other actor that could have taken a shot at Teddy probably did it better than me. Like Tim, for instance. Tim is such a bloody brilliant actor. Like, just absolutely talented, sensational, has such an amazing diction to him, such an energy, such a, like, level of projection that he commands the room when he's in it, and he decides to command it. So, like, Tim, bloody brilliant actor. And I remember he auditioned for Teddy in front of me. And I play Jonathan or Mortimer. Either way. But watching him do it, I was like, wow. Maybe I shouldn't have this role. Maybe this belongs to Tim. Because Tim did it in a way that was actually, like, close to the real life person. Mine was kind of more crazy. And I have a philosophy, and this is very important to learn if you're going to be an actor. If the director casts you for what you did in the audition and doesn't tell you to do something differently, don't do it differently. They cast you for that role because you played it that way in the audition. Does that make sense? Like when I did Treasure Island, right? I remember I did Black Dog with a very menacing voice in the audition. I was kind of like this, you know. I was yelling at him, and I had that voice through the audition. But until I think it was like the first couple weeks of rehearsal, through like the first month of it, I changed it to be more classy and kind of a little bit more scary because he's more classy sounding, right? But here's the thing. She didn't like that very much, my director at the time. And she said, why did you change it? I liked it the way it was before. So, this is just me as an actor who's done it before, telling y'all, as maybe potentially future actors, because this is technically a voice acting channel, don't... If you audition for a role, and you play that role that way, the director casts you for how you play the role. So don't go against that and make it different. Because, I mean, I guess if it's a different story if, like, for instance, in the case of Arsenic and Old Lace, before we did the auditions, we had that little sheet where it was just, like, these 3 different parts, essentially, and you read them differently because they were different roles. Like, that's a little bit different. Because I would have played Schmendeman differently than I play Teddy. And I do. Excuse me, I'm disgusting, but... Like, that's a different case because you're reading a different material to do the material at hand. But when you're doing a script like Treasure Island, where they just give you the script and they're like, okay, read from this section, read from this part, read as this character, then you're going to probably read as that character, and if you get cast as that character, you're probably going to want to play it the same way that you did in the audition. We did that with Footloose. I remember doing Chuck, and I did it exactly the same the entire show, because I was like, why should I jeopardize this amazing role with a different take? Because I've already read it, and I like the way that I did the take of the character. I kind of did it like, he sounds more like Alex Brightman playing Adam, but with the attitude of like Valentino before he was completely crazy, for my Has-Been Hotel people out there. Like, I had a really good time playing Chuck. So I played him that way, and it worked out. And never once did Miss G tell me, hey, dude, could you play him differently like this? Could you do him like this? Like, I was never told to do that. So that is just my seasoned actor advice. Do not play a character one way in the audition and then play them differently in the next. So in the show proper, and I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. It's 8:47 in the morning. Okay, give me a break. But that's kind of just acting advice for y'all. If y'all want it, take it or leave it. But I did get cast for Teddy, and I read Teddy exactly the way that I think Teddy should have been read, and I'm playing Teddy that same way. For the auditions, though, we didn't have to use those sheets that I read for y'all, which was a little bit depressing. I had the monologue entirely prepared. Like, I had it memorized, which is something that I don't often do, like, this early into the game. I don't usually memorize within, like, the first couple weeks. Like, that is a difficult task. I'm not good at memorizing stuff. So the fact that I memorized Schmendeman's monologue is quite fascinating to me. However, when the director came in, he was like, we are not going to be using these. I mean, you can if you want, but we are just going to cold read from the script. And I had a bit of an anxiety attack that day. because I was like, oh my god, I had this all prepared, and now I'm in a room full of people. Well, not full of people. I'm in a room with at least a few people that I've never really met before, and never really, especially not worked with before. And now I'm freaking out because I have to not only impress a director I've never met, but also impress my coworkers. Not my coworkers, my co-stars, but I'm going to call them coworkers because who cares? But for the most part, a lot of the people who did do Footloose that haven't graduated or were in like another commitment, like marching band, EU marching band people, or just didn't want to come. For the majority, we have a lot of the Footloose people doing Arsenic and Old Lace. And I think we have like a couple newcomers, which is good. My biggest concern right now, as somebody who cares about the theater at WJP, is the fact that we don't have a lot of people after this. Like, after this year when, like, I want to say 90% of the cast of Arsenic and Old Lace is gonna graduate. We're all seniors. I'm a senior in high school. Krill's a senior in high school. I'm sorry, I'm giving out personal information. But, like, the majority of the people on the cast are seniors. Like, this is our last show like this that isn't gonna be one night of theater, which, by the way, I am not doing. And I can tell you why. Because it has been abbreviated to be called SNOT. S-N-O-T. Short Night of Theater. I feel like, as a human being with very little dignity, that would take away most of the rest of my dignity. Because why would you call it SNOT? I feel like you don't do that with band. Snob. Short night of band. Snob. You don't call it that. You don't do that with football. Short night of football. Snuff. That sounds stupid. That sounds very adult, I think. But point stands. You don't call any of these other things like some weird stupid acronym. Yeah, we are the only ones being called snot. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Like, and the fact that this at our school, at my school now, is the only student-directed thing is baffling. Like, truly baffling. I don't give a lot of credit to where I used to go to high school. Like, that place is living hell. It is... I think when I die, I'm probably going to reconstitute there in hell. And, like, I'm going to have to live through going to high school there for the rest of eternity. Like, that's what I feel like is going to happen. So, you know, like, but what I can give credit to is the fact that we had a functioning theater department, for one, that didn't fall apart every year. And we had good people running it all instead of, like, 2 years ago, before I came here, we had a director who didn't do anything. Like, she would come to rehearsals and be like, hey, I'm watching you guys, that way you can do your performance, but you're all directing yourselves. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? That's not how a director works. You're being paid. You're being paid as a theater teacher. Part of your job description is to be here. You might not be being paid for coming to rehearsals, but god damn it, your job is to be here. You are the only person running the theater that isn't from Doherty or another school. Right? Like, get off your ass and do what you were hired to do. Not that complicated. So then, last year, my junior year, we couldn't get a teacher until January, February, somewhere in there. And then this year, she got fired. What the hell? So, We can't hold a theater teacher. We can't keep this department stable. Nothing is working out. But my old high school has it figured out. What we used to do at my old high school was we would have a fall show, like Treasure Island. Then, like between January and March, we would have a student-directed show that was almost exclusively for juniors and seniors, upperclassmen only, and it would be like a raffle, where it's like you have to get this kid in there, right? And, well, not really a raffle, it was more like a lottery kind of deal, where it's like, if you signed up first, you're probably going to do it. And then we had our spring musical, and then that was our full show lineup. We might have done like 1 or 2 more shows that year that were smaller, maybe student-directed, but generally speaking, when it came to the format of my old high school's theater schedule, it was fall show, student-directed show, spring show. And that worked! Excuse me. Never once, during my time at my old high school, did we ever have somebody who didn't want to do the student-directed show. We didn't have somebody who didn't want to do the spring show. We didn't have somebody who didn't want to do the fall show. Like, we always had somebody there. And that school was on top of it. We weren't funded for it. Okay? Like, we had 0 funding. But, damn it, we had a dream, and we had the people to do that dream. We had people who would be brought in to do the audition, and we'd go, hey, would you like to audition for this part? And then we read it off. But we very rarely didn't have a full cast. The only reason these kids needed to be double cast was because some kids sucked. Like, that's just how it is. That was the only reason well, not the only reason, I'm sure, but in Treasure Island, we hardly had anybody double cast, I don't think. We had maybe a couple people. But it wasn't, like, more than 2. I don't think. And I know that I'm saying that in regards to Arsenic and Old Lace, but we have 3 people double cast right now. 3 people double cast. Which is crazy. So, yeah. And then, like, it was very rarely that we didn't have enough people to do a production, because it was mostly freshmen and, like, people who had been there since they were freshmen doing the show. Like, so it was a lot of freshmen would come, there was a lot of sophomores, a couple juniors, and then, like, maybe, like, 2 seniors, because most of the seniors who used to care about the theater department aged out. But we at least had a structure. Like, we had more than just, like, a few people auditioning. Like, first time that we did the auditions for Arsenic and Old Lace, we had 10 people. We had about the amount of people that you could count on 2 hands. Now we have 12 people. Miraculous, but not 14. We don't have a full cast. At Woodland Park, we probably didn't have a full cast, but we at least had enough people and enough, like, patience. Only have a couple people cast, and this was not a small show that we did for Treasure Island either. This is like a 15-20 roll show, at least. Like, it's not a small show. This is not small peanuts. So the fact that we only had a couple people double cast in a, like, that many person show, ridiculous. So, you know, that's just me ranting about that, though. But yeah, I think the theater department next year is in very big trouble. Because, I mean, we still have all the people that probably will come around and do more next year that are in marching band right now. I know I can at least name 2 people right off the top of my head that were part of Footloose last year. But the problem is, that's not a lot of people. Like, potentially 5 people total that I can think of right now. We have the 2 people from marching band that I mentioned, the 2 people that are in Arsenic and Old Lace right now that play the cops, and then we have 1 person who plays the father of Elaine and Dr. Rooney. not Dr. Rooney, what? Police Chief Rooney. So that is 5 people that I can name off the top of my head that would probably be able to spearhead the theater department next year that aren't, or well, also our stage man, well, not stage, is he our stage manager? I can't remember. But that's small number of people. Like, that is not a big number of people. We have 1 tech person, and we have 5 actors. There's not a lot you can do with that, I don't think. The fact that we have lost this much interest in theater is sad, and it's appalling, because theater is such a magical thing. Like, you get to do these spectacular, creative things, but when you barely have enough people to fill a small show, what does that say about the state of the theater department? Like, it's very disheartening to me. Very, very sad. And I'm glad that I auditioned for this show, because otherwise we wouldn't have had a lot of people. Like, I am very extremely glad that Krill, the voice actor who's going to be helping me out in this video, pushed me to audition again, because after the disappearance of our previous theater teacher, who was making the theater department much better, I said, I'm not going to do the next show. I don't think I should. Not that it's going to happen anyway, but like, at the time, we didn't know if the show was going to happen. We thought it probably was, but if it did, I was probably not going to do it. And I was so emotionally, like, broken down at that point, because a lot of stuff had been happening. I talked about it a little bit in my Minecraft video. But I was emotionally exhausted. Like, the opening of this senior year sucked. Like, so much BS happened. And it just drained me. So I was like, now that Miss G is gone, what is the point of me staying here when we don't even have a director anymore? Like, we don't even know if we have a show. Why should I audition for it if we do get a director? Right? And then Krill came to me and he was like, hey man, we need you. You are extremely talented. You have amazing projection. You are a leader. Like, all this amazing stuff. And I was just like, how do I say no? Like, that's dedication of somebody who cares about you and cares about the medium. And I was so glad that I didn't skip out, because this show needs me. I know that's like kind of a egotistical statement, but generally speaking, the fact that we don't have 14 actors, yes, the show needs me. Literally, I can actually say that on a founded basis. This show does need me. I am Teddy. Like, I need to be there because I am one of the 12 actors. Because we don't have 14 right now. So, yeah. Like, that was... Theater right now is a harsh journey. And I'm so glad that I have been pushed by my father to go to college and go be a theater teacher. Because I feel like right now, what that theater needs is somebody who can take care of it. And that's what I'm doing as a senior, but I need to be a theater teacher. Because I need to watch over that theater. I already have plans. I already have, like, things done in my head. Like, how I'm gonna run theater cabinet, how I'm gonna run the classes, how I'm gonna run the shows. Like, it is not a joke. I am going to be there, and I'm going to be directing. And we're gonna have a damn blast. Like, that is the thing about theater that I absolutely love. So in our theater classes, we have a lot of freshmen who don't want to be there, which is the weirdest thing. Like, I don't understand how, as a freshman, You are so completely douchey. like I've seen freshmen that are douchebags in my time. I think I was probably a douchebag freshman. But never once in my 40 years of teaching have I ever seen a group of freshmen this disinterested in doing theater. And I know what it is. At my school, so we're an IB school, International Baccalaureate, which essentially means peanuts. It means absolutely nothing. But because of that, we offer a lot of classes. It is not a joke. We have a music production class, which is something that I've never seen before. I thought that was only a college thing. What? I didn't know that we could do that. So, we have a lot of classes. But the problem is, we have twice as many students as we have classes and teachers. It is not a joke. It is not small peanuts right now. We have maybe 100 classes plus all the hours that they run, and then add on to that 150 staff members, not excluding admin. And then we have 300 students that graduate. I'm just saying, that's a lot. I mean, maybe not 300, maybe more close to 100 students that graduate every year. But still, that's a lot of kids that are seniors going and graduating. And I can only imagine how many kids are juniors, sophomores, freshmen. And we get more students every year, which is crazy. But there's also kids leaving in droves. But we don't talk about that. Shh. That doesn't happen. Shh. We need money. Shut up. So, but it is crazy. But because of that, there's these freshmen who want to do music production, and that's amazing. Good on you. You want to do music production, mate? But here's the problem. We have a master computer who builds the schedules, and unfortunately, the master computer will go through all these kids first. It'll do seniors first, juniors second, sophomores next, freshmen last. And the problem is, seniors usually grab all the good classes because they don't want to be with freshmen. We ask, I remember I asked, I was like, hey, what classes have freshmen? That way I don't do them. And they were like, okay, well, we're going to exclude all these classes, and here's all the ones that you have left. And I was like, okay, that's great. So, having said that, theater, as well as its multiple subsects, is probably one of the least chosen classes. It's hard, because that is, only theater nerds really go to that class. It's almost like how art was at my previous school, where nobody really wanted to do art. I don't know why, but nobody really wanted to do art. But at this school, let me just say this, we have more art classes that are full than theater classes that are full, which is crazy. And that is after the fact that we have brought in so many freshmen who don't want to be there. Because here's the thing, when the master computer builds the schedules, it does all the classes, all the upperclassmen first, which is acceptable. They need to get their credits so they can get the hell out. But here's the thing, when you do that, it means that all the classes that the freshmen want to take are taken up by all the other classmen. And that means that the freshmen are put into any class that isn't full. Let that sink in. That is the dumbest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. So, because theater isn't really a full class most of the time, the entirety of Theater 1, except for a few people, don't want to be there. And that rings true for stagecraft. I remember last year it was 90% kids who did not want to be there, and would argue and would bicker and were dicks and were terrible people. And here's the thing, they were all freshmen and sophomores. None of them were juniors. I think I was the only junior in that class. Like, what? Theater right now is absolutely in the garbage. Like, I just think I feel like I have to. Like, this is a thing rested upon me. Because nobody else seems to want to do it, other than one person. And I love this person, they're amazing, but I'm gonna take that spot from you. You're doomed. Bye. Excuse me. But yeah, I am going to take that theater spot. Because I think somebody needs to run it. And they need to run it well. The reason why I came to that high school, like, this is a real thing. I don't like moving schools. I am a notorious non-mover. Like, I am completely a yes-mad. I am not a nomad. I am a yes-mad. I like to stay where I am because I'm happy and I am fulfilled. And the only 3 reasons that I went to that school are as follows. 1, to get away from Woodland Park and the people there. 2, to be taught by my mother. And number 3, which is possibly one of the most important and was the only thing that actually let me go other than those other 2 examples. My mother told me that the theater program at Palmer was flourishing. That it was the best theater department in Colorado. That was like literally one of the only things that made me go there. And that is not a joke. Like, I might have, if it wasn't for the fact that I heard that the theater department was amazing, I might have stayed at my old school. I'm being dead serious. I would have probably stayed because I know the people there and I didn't have to make new friends. Because it was my last 2 years of high school and they had a theater department that I could rely on, that I could make friends in. That is it. That was literally one of the tipping points, was the fact that they had a good theater department. And then it turns out that the original teacher sucked eggs. Just did not do the job in the slightest. And then now we've gone through theater hell for the years that I've been here. I think I'm one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, everywhere I go, something bad happens. So, I don't know. That's just it. I've spent 30 minutes ranting about theater. I'm so sorry. But yeah, Arsenic and Old Lace is going well. We have show dates. It's next month sometime. We are, as I have iconically thought to myself, we are in the 3rd lap of a race that's 4 laps long, and we just got thrown in, and we weren't even there for the first 2 laps. So that's kind of the state of theater right now. And I still have a little less than 10 minutes to fill. So I'm just going to talk about something random. I'm going to talk about senior year stuff. Because senior year is being really sticky. Being really icky and gross to me right now. So, my schedule essentially... Okay, this is hard to explain. I was not a good student for most of my high school career. And as you probably are aware, high school is the last schooling that you're gonna go through. Unless you go to college, which, you know, that's kind of that's a isolated thing. You know, not everybody goes to college, and I firmly understood that at the time, and I didn't want to go to college. For the first 3 years of my schooling stuff, I didn't want to go to college at the beginning of my senior year. And then it was my dad who was like, hey dude, you enjoy teaching theater. The theater needs people to run it. 2 and 2, they add together really well. So, but as a freshman, I didn't really care. I was like, I am here to coast all my classes, get through, get my diploma, right? My sophomore year, I wisened up a little bit because my freshman year, I had to take summer school. Now, it was also partially because... No, wait, I didn't have to do summer school. Sorry. My school thought I had to do summer school, but then I was like, well, can't we just do this? And they were like, okay, yeah, that's a good plan. So that was how that worked out. And then sophomore year, I did have to do summer school. Because, once again, I sucked at doing school, but at least I had more core classes done. Granted, it was only one, but hey, that's more than 0. So then, I move. And junior year, I was like, I need to get my stuff in gear. But I also moved from a school that was dependent on Summit Learning to a school that was traditional learning. Well, international baccalaureate, but still. For the most part, it's just, that's a swanky title until the very end where it's like, oh, well, you have to do this. Okay. And it's not that hard either. It's like, you have to talk about why a book is important to the cultural zeitgeist. That's easy. That's like talking about Spider-Man. That's easy. I can do it all day. It's like talking about theater. I could do it for 30 fucking minutes. Sorry, I swear again. My bad. But, like, then it's like, what else am I gonna say? Well, I passed my junior year with flying colors. I still had to do summer school because my transcript was partially my fault. It was absolutely disgusting looking, but also partially because my old school sucks at trying to get you what you need. So, but that was fun. And then my senior year, this year, it's like every class kind of sucks, but it's not too hard. I had a full class load at the beginning of the year, which was, that was like against my junior year where I at least had one free period the whole year. I think, yeah, my schedule, half of my schedule stayed the same, essentially, except for one period at the end, I think. So this year, I was able to get rid of my first class, which was the art class that I mentioned, which is more full than my theater class, which is disparaging, which is so sad. So now my first class is PE, it's gym, it's fitness and conditioning. Y'all do not understand how much I hate fitness and conditioning. Like, it is a problem. I do not like that class in the slightest. It is probably my least favorite class. And not because of, like, the people. Typically, that's why I hate a class. Is actually because I have to do gym. Gym sucks. I hate gym. It is not fun. Then we have... What's my next period? Oh yeah, English. It's 43 minutes in. I can't completely rant about this, but I am going to rant about it for like 30 seconds. My English class, right? We are analyzing Taylor Swift songs. This lasts until December. This started at the beginning of September. I am not joking. This is ridiculous. So, you know, I am going to do what I want and not what the teacher wants. And that's probably not going to be constructive towards my grade, but I don't care. I'm still going to get a good grade. Well, this is the last 3 minutes of the video, the talking section of the video. It's not voice acting. I'm so sorry for ranting for 43 minutes so far. I'm just going to start doing my outro now because I may as well. Sorry, complete and total pivot from the last conversation. The next video that I do will probably be Bendy and the Ink Machine, because it is October. It's October 7th when I record this. I want to do Bendy and the Ink Machine because I should do a horror game during October time. And typically I would play more horror games over the year. Excuse me. It's just like excuse me. Oh my goodness. I was gone for... What the hell is happening? I was gone for 3 months. Because I couldn't handle it anymore. I was so exhausted from doing school stuff. So, yeah, that happened. I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for a majority of the year. But now we're back. Well, not a majority. I was there for January till May. I just wasn't here for 3 months. And then I came back in August or September. I can't remember. But, all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Know that the next time we have a chill video like this, like a Minecraft or a Doom, I'm probably gonna continue talking about my schedule. for high school, because it sucks. Make sure to know that you are loved and cared for, because I love and care that way. You are strong. You just may not know it. You are amazing. You have friends. You have people who care about you. And they may not say it openly first. And that's terrible. But I think I understand why. It's because some people are worried. Because they aren't completely there themselves. So, nurture them and be a good friend to them. Or be a good student or child. Unless your parents suck. Go hug your parents. Like I said, unless they suck. Because if your parents suck, then don't hug them because they suck. Take care of your friends because they have earned to be taken care of because they're your friends, and unless they don't treat you well, in which case they're not your friends. They're douchebags. Hug your dog, pet your dog, water your dog, pet your cat, water your cat, hug your cat. It's constructive to them living, partially, but it's also good for your mental health. It's actually an improvement. The more you pet a dog or your house pet, the more anxiety goes away from both of them, because your animal can feel your anxiety. People say that animals are not intelligent creatures, but I believe that they are extraordinarily intelligent and very emotionally mature and aware, because they are able to feel your emotions, and you are able to feel what they're feeling and their emotions. So, you know, if you're feeling anxious, your dog or your cat is probably going to feel it. So go over there and pet your beloved pet. I love y'all. Bye.